Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are all welcome once again to our Arabic grammar lessons with our friend An-Nahu al-Wadih. Inshallah, in this session we are learning about I'rab al-Muthanna, how to do grammatical analysis for dual. Yani we've seen the Jam'u and we've seen how the Jam'u operates. Okay, so we need to see how the dual to operate, because we've said that the words are classified into three. We first learn about تقسيم الاسم إلى مفرد ومثنى والجمع, and then we did تقسيم الجمع. We did this particular one. Okay, so we are now coming to look at the i'rab of the muthanna. So we've seen the classifications completely. Singular is just singular. Dual is also just dual. It doesn't have sound feminine dual or sound masculine. We don't have that in dual. We don't have broken dual. We don't have that. So dual is also one, just like mufrad. But then the jam' also had partitions. So after categorizing word into al-ism, after categorizing al-ism into mufrad, muthanna, and jam', they also brought us to taqsimul jam'. Taqsimul Jam'u taught us the classification in the plural noun in Arabic. We have sound masculine plural. That is Jam'u Mudhakkarin Salimun. Jam'u Mudhakkarin Salimun. And then we have Jam'u Mu'annathin Salimun. Sound feminine plural. And then we have Jam'u Taksir, yani broken plural. So three types of plural, which if you don't remember, go back just, I think, one lesson back or two lessons back, and then inshallah get yourself in the shoes we are now so that we move together. We are talking about i'rab al-muthanna today. Okay, so when we talk about i'rab, as I've already previously explained, i'rab is you bringing out the grammatical position of a word, telling us the grammatical ruling of the word. The grammatical position might be subject, or maybe it's the predicate, or maybe it is the object in the verbal sentence, or maybe it is the subject in the verbal sentence. That is the dual. So, or you tell us whether the verb, if it's a verb, whether it is present tense, whether it is. So those are the i'rab, grammatical position. Now we talk about the grammatical ruling, which is whether the word is marfu, whether the word is mansub, whether the word is majrur, whether the word is majzum. You tell us that. And you tell us that what sign made you know that this word is marfu or mansub or majrur. So maybe you say in Arab the word is fa'il, that is the doer. That is the grammatical position of the word. Then you talk about what is the sign of the fa'il. Say marfu'un, bimana it is in the nominative case. That made you know that it is the fa'il. Okay. Then what made you know that it is marfu'? What is the sign of raf'un? Yani where you say وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ الضَّمَّةِ, you are telling us the sign of its raf'un, because every group of words have their sign of raf'un. You will come to know the i'rab of jam'u, and you realize that its sign of raf'un differs from the singular, and the sign of raf'un for the dual also differs from the singular. You will come to understand all this clearly. Okay, so that is that about the i'rab. You bring out the skeleton of the word, and then the muthanna. So we are doing that for dual words. Okay, so it says al-amthila لعب الولدان. So the focus is on the waladani. لعب الولدان, the two boys played. اتفق الشريكان, the partners agreed. اتفق, they agreed. The partners. الشريك is a partner. الشريكان, partners. The two partners agreed. أورقت الشجرتان. أورق, when we say أورق, bimana it has borne leaves. The tree has grown leaves. Yani it has now gotten awraq, which is the plural of waraq, leaves. Okay. So you say أورقت الشجرتان, the two trees have borne leaves. Then we have حضر المسافرون. حضر المسافران عفوا. حضر المسافران. The two travelers are present. That is, they've come. They are present. Okay, now let's look at something here. All the nouns that we have here are dual. Al-waladani, al-sharikani, al-shajaratani, al-musafirani. They are all dual. And in this first example that we've read, all of them are subject. They are subject in the verbal sentence. That is, they are the doer. Al-fa'il. I prefer to translate fa'il as doer, so that I will make mubtada. When I'm translating mubtada, I say it is subject. So all of them here are the doers in the sentence. La'iba, who played. Ittafaqa, who agreed. Awraqa, what bore the leaves. Hadara, who came. So all the nouns here are the doer. They are all the doers in their sentences. Okay. Now let's look at their ending. We say when you are creating a dual noun, you add either alif and nun or yai and nun to create the dual. So you have waladun, and then you give it alif or nun, then you have waladani. Or it takes yai and nun, then you say waladaini. Okay. Now, in here, we are learning when is it that a noun can take alif and nun to make the dual, or when it will take yai and nun to make dual, because you don't just pick and choose. So here, they are all fa'il. And we know that fa'il is what? Marfu, is nominative. And the sign of a nominative dual noun is the alif we have here. The alif we have here is the sign of its raf'un. It is a sign that the word is in the accusative case, nominative case. So if you have a dual noun, and the dual noun comes as a subject, comes as the doer in the sentence, it's supposed to be marfu. And it being marfu is that you give it alif and nun, not yai and nun. So the simple ruling, whenever a dual noun is in the nominative case, that is, whenever a dual noun is marfu, it takes alif and nun. Just like we are having here, we have alif and nun, because they are all marfu. Okay, so we'll come to do the i'rab for them, inshallah, quite soon, if the book doesn't do it itself. Okay. And we have also, so after knowing the state of the raf'un, we will now have to know, because nouns are in three cases. Nouns can be marfu, nouns can be mansub, nouns can be majroor. So we are going to look at the second batch, where the nouns are all in the accusative form. Okay, so we have kafa'atul waladaini. So you take notice of the yai and nun. Kafa'atu al waladaini, yani I rewarded the two boys. Mukafa'a, reward. After every competition, there is a mukafa'a, a reward. Kafa'atu al-waladaini, I rewarded the two boys. Hadathtu, so you realize that here the two boys are the maf'ulun bihi in the sentence. They are the object in the sentence, so they come accusative. That is mansub, maf'ulun bihi mansub. Hadathtu ash-sharikaini, I spoke to the partners, the two partners. So the two partners are the object in this verbal sentence. So you see the yai and nun. Tasallaqtu shajarataini, I climbed. Tasallaqa is to climb. I climbed the two trees. And we have wadda'atu al-musafiraini, I bid farewell to the two travelers. So the two travelers are also maf'ulun bihi here. Okay, so let's look at something. Here, all of them are maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi, we know, is always mansubun. So they come in the accusative case. What is the sign for the accusative case of a dual noun? Instead of alif and nun, it takes yai and nun. So the yai becomes the sign for the accusative case of a dual noun. Okay, let's look at the third batch. We have A.Y.T.A al-qurata lil-waladaini, I gave the ball to the two boys. Waladaini, yai and nun again. Ishtaraitu من الشريكين. I bought from the two partners. اشتريت من الشريكين. I bought from the two partners. دنوت من الشجرتين. I got close. دنا, to get close. ثم دنا فتدلى. دنوت من الشجرتين. I got close to the two trees. سلمت على المسافرين. I greeted the travelers. على المسافرين. I greeted the two travelers. Now here you realize that they are all اسم مجرور because of li حرف جر, min حرف جر preposition, min preposition, ala is a preposition. So the nouns that come after them are what? اسم مجرور. So اسم مجرور we know should be مجرور. So the sign for the genitive case or the sign for the jar or majrur of a dual noun is also yai and nun. So for the dual noun, even before we read the explanation quickly, when the dual noun is in the nominative case, that is when the dual noun is marfu'un, its sign of raf'un is alif. When the dual noun is accusative, that is mansub, or genitive, that is majrur, I'll stop using the English term quite soon. I just want us to get used to it. When the dual noun is marfu'un, it takes alif and nun at the end. When the dual noun is majrur and mansub, it takes yai, sukun and nun at the end. It takes yai, sukun and nun at the end. Yai and nun basically. Let's read the sharh. He says, Al-Bahth. تأمل الكلمات الأخيرة. Ponder over or think carefully about the last words في الأمثلة السابقة, in the previous examples, that is the examples we've just seen. تجد كلا منها مثنى. You find each of it to be dual. The last words in all the sentences we had are dual nouns. Okay. And he says لأنه يدل على اثنين, because it refers to two things. بزيادة ألف ونون, by the increment or by the addition of alif and nun or yai and nun. So if any word that refers to two things by adding alif and nun to the letter or yai and nun to the letter, then the word is called muthanna. If a word refers to two things but it doesn't have the increment alif and nun or yai and nun, we don't call it muthanna. We only call it muthanna when it refers to two things. We made it refer to two things by adding alif and nun or yai and nun. Okay. So it says وَنَجِدْهَا فِي الْقِسْمِ الْأَوَّلِ مَرْفُوعَةً. In the first part we find it to be marfu'. لأن كلا منها فاعلا, because each of it is a fa'il. A fa'il is the doer in the sentence and it should be nominative. وفي القسم الثاني, and in the second partition, منصوبة, we find the second words to be mansub, that is accusative. لأن كلا منها يقع مفعولا به. All of the second batch, as I told you, came as مفعول به. وفي القسم الثالث, and in the third part, مجرورة. All of them came majrura, that is اسم مجرور. لأن كلا منها مسبوق بحرف جر, because each of them is preceded by a حرف جر. فما علامات الرفع والنصب والجر فيها. What are the signs of رفع, نصب and jar in these nouns, in these dual nouns we've just seen? I know you know them already because I've already explained. Okay, let's read on. It says نبحث فنجد, we search. نبحث, we search. فنجد أن هذه الكلمات, we search and then we realize that these words في حالة الرفع, in the case where they are nominative, that is the first five, تنتهي بألف ونون. Are there even five? Four. That is, in the first four you find that the word is ending with alif and nun. في حالة الرفع تنتهي بألف والنون, the word ends with alif and nun. وفي حالة النصب والجر, in the case that they are mansub and majrur, تنتهي بماذا؟ بياي ونون. The dual noun, when it is mansub or majrur, it ends with yai and nun. ومن ذلك نستطيع أن ندرك أن الألف, and from that we can realize that نستطيع أن ندرك, we can know that ألف هي علامة الإعراب النائبة عن الضمة. You can know that ألف is the sign of إعراب, علامة إعراب النائبة عن الضمة, that comes to replace what? Dhamma. Because when the word is singular, the alama, the sign that shows it is rafu, is what? Dhamma. So he says لعب الولد, لعب الولد, خلق الله, something like that. So when it is singular, it takes Dhamma. But then when it became dual, it is alif that shows the sign of the rafu. And so we say an-na'ibatu an ad-dhamma, the alif is replacing the dhamma. في حالة الرفع, in the case of رفع. والياء هي علامة الإعراب, the ya is the sign of إعراب النائبة عن الفتحة والكسرة في حالة النصب والجر. The ya and nun or ya comes to replace the dhamma in the case of nasb and jar. Okay, I think we've deeply explained this. Rest, read the qaida. It's just one qaida, and then we go back and do a i'rab of one of each partition. He says al-qa'idatu, the ruling, يرفع المثنى بالالف وينصب ويجر بالياء. Simple qaida, you need to memorize it right away. Don't let a second pass by it. Read it like 5-10 times, you memorize it. يرفع المثنى بالالف وينصب ويجر بالياء, something like that. Read it like that and you memorize it. The dual now is made marfu by alif, and it is made mansub and majrur by yai. Let's go and do some i'rab up there. Okay, so let me do number one of each. لعب, of course, فعل ماضي مبني على الفتح لا محل له من الإعراب. الولدان, الولدان we say فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الألف لأنه مثنى. Again, الولدان فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الألف نيابة عن الضمة لأنه مثنى. Okay. If anything is not understood, please do well to ask and then it will be clarified. كافأت فعل وفاعل, فعل ماضي مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل المتحركة, والتاء ضمير متصل مبني على الضم في محل رفع فاعل. الولدين, I only take my time to do the i'rab of the topic, the said topic. So if anything extra is there, you can as well contact and ask me. I have no problem. But I want the lesson to focus on the topic. Okay. Al-waladaini. Al-waladaini maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-ya'u li'annahu, aw you say maf'ulun bihi mansubun wa alamatu nasbihi al-ya'u niyabatan anil fathati لأنه مثنى. الولدين مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه مثنى, because it is dual. Okay. أعطيت القرة للولدين, I gave the ball to the two boys. أعطيت فعل ماضي مبني على السكون لاتصاله بتاء الفاعل المتحركة, والتاء ضمير متصل في محل رفع الفاعل, التاء ضمير متصل مبني على الضم في محل رفع فاعل. القرة مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. لللام, اللام واللام حرف جر مبني على الكسرة لا محل له من الإعراب. ولدين, الولدين اسم مجرور وعلامة جره الياء لأنه مثنى. الولدين اسم مجرور وعلامة جره الياء نيابة عن الكسرة لأنه مثنى. Alhamdulillah. This brings us to the end of this lesson. If anything is not understood outside the lesson, inside the lesson, please do well to ask. You find any Arab in the Quran, Hadith that is confusing you, please let's share together and help ourselves. Do well to share. As you benefit, let somebody also benefit, inshallah. Let's build the family up and then spread the benefit wide and large, inshallah. Till we meet again, إلى لقاء آخر. مع السلام.